Hey guys, this is Mike here at Area 51, back with a quick video. Just wanted to show you guys a mod that you might want to do here too if you have one of the McLaren GT3 rims by Fanatec. This is my second rim, and I'm going to tell you guys, I love, this is a love-hate relationship with me with this wheel rim. This is the second one I've had. The first one I had I sold, and I sold it and replaced it with, I got a really good deal used secondhand on this Fanatec Formula wheel. It's an F1 wheel. And I used it for a while, and then I got frustrated with it and went and bought another McLaren GT3 rim. Now I have both. Now I have both rims. I got them both sitting here on my desk. And I kind of interchange them back and forth a little bit depending on what I'm driving. And I'm trying to pick one and kind of decide on one and kind of downsize. And then I also just ordered a third rim in the mail that fits on the actually it fits on the Fanatec Universal Hub that I might replace both of these with. And I'll pick that one up in another video. But I wanted to show you the mod I did to this. So my biggest issue, and the reason I got rid of the McLaren rim to begin with, is that when I drive in sim racing, on iRacing, or anything else for that matter, I do not like to wear gloves. Okay. That's my biggest issue. The reason I got rid of the McLaren GT3 rim that I had the first time was the rubber grips. I hated the rubber. They rubbed blisters on my hand if I was in a long race. Just hated it. Hated that rubber. The point to where I even bought some gloves that had cut out fingertips in them so I could still reach my buttons and feel them easy. And I did that for a while. And when I saw on a Facebook Marketplace this F1 rim, the reason I bought it and did the upgrade and did the switch and then sold the McLaren rim to pay for it was the fact that this was the version that had the leather grips on it from Fanatec. This nice. I tell you what, the most comfortable thing about this is the leather grips. Absolutely love it. It's made out of carbon fiber. It's nice and solid. It has just as many buttons as the McLaren does. It's got the same button in the middle. You can configure second paddles. I don't have the second paddles. You got to buy the podium shifter modules to get the second paddles. But the thing about the McLaren is it comes with those second set of clutch paddles stock built in. That's one plus I liked about it. But anyway, as far as face buttons goes, the Formula actually has more. It has the thumb rotary dials, 3 buttons on each side at the top, the 3 at the bottom, a couple here. I mean, so it matches it pretty well. Both of them have 2 up and down switches here. They both have 2 functional rotary dials here. Not rotary, but encoder dials. And so anyway, it was pretty comparable. The F1 has a few more buttons, so I was thinking, man, this is awesome. I get the leather grips, nice sturdy carbon fiber wheel, and I'm just going to sell my McLaren and never look back. And guys, my problem with this wheel is, as you can tell, it's small. It's significantly smaller. The F1 wheel is 27 centimeters in diameter. That's smaller than a Logitech G29 wheel. Logitech G29, I think, is 28 centimeters. So it's even small. So this is 30 centimeters, and I'm telling you, the difference between 27 centimeters and 30 is significant. I know that the Formula wheel from Fanatec is the same size as the wheels in the actual Formula cars, but when I'm sitting there in my rig, I'm a big guy, and like my arms are like tucked in against my sides and stuff. And it is hard. It just doesn't feel good. Where this 30 centimeter rim is for GT3 cars, which is the actual real size, but it also works great with any open wheel car as well. And it gives me that slightly bigger diameter that feels good. So here's what I did. I put leather. I made this my own leather mod for this. I had gotten, and I'll put a link in the description below. When I got this 15-inch rim that I got for oval racing and like NASCAR stuff, this thing is huge. It's the same size rim as in a real car, a bigger real car. Like my Dodge Charger, I think, has a 15-inch rim. My truck has a 15-inch rim. This thing is huge. And it's what's in real NASCARs. And so I picked it up. But it came with this powder coated leather grip that I hated. It felt like it was coming off in my hand, the powder from it. And I've never felt leather like that before. So I went and found this really nice microfiber leather. It's so soft, breathable. Like, it is amazing. Best leather grip I've ever had on a steering wheel. And it was one where you stitch on yourself. You can see where I stitched it on there over top of the other leather covering that was on it. And it's got the red stitching, even had the centering line here, red on the top, center correction line on the top. So I loved it. So, what I ended up doing is I just ordered a second one of those, and I cut it up. I ordered a second one. I cut it, kind of to match the size of each handle here, and I sewed it on here. So some things that I would, if I had to do over again, I would do. I just want to kind of show you what I did first. So first, when I did this, I had to cut just this size right here, just from here over to the edge, and I sewed that on first, and I did that on both sides. So I just sewed that little piece on first, okay? And so once I got that piece on, then I cut a piece, and this was tricky because this curves. It's hard to cut a piece that matches exactly. It curves. I wanted to overlap a little bit, so I overlapped out here. Actually, the button itself works fine, but it's kind of underneath the button there. And I cut it all the way down to here. And then I sewed this on. Now, the only problem with this was that I ran into is that if you look at the threading here, so I'm going to pull that round rim up here. On the round rim here, it's hard to see, but they had you didn't have to poke a hole in the leather. They had some black string that had been sewn in there already. So when you put the red string in to sew it on, you didn't poke through the leather. You just went through the string hole, the strings that were already there that were sewn on each side, and you just kind of pulled it together. And then the other way to do it is to actually poke through the leather. So when I cut it, it cut those pre-done leather loops to put this string through. So I had to actually go through the leather, so it doesn't look as neat there on the stitching as what my other one did. And this was my first attempt, so I could attempt this again and do a much better job. And sharing some of these things with you guys, if you try to do it, it's just some things to look out for. So if you buy one like this, that has the one I put in the link that I got, that has the stitching, going down the side, you loop the red stitching through, you lose that. So you actually have to poke a hole each time with the needle through it and actually run it through. And so it worked out fine here. Actually, this feels really good on my thumb. Doesn't really rub or anything. This piece right here, this part feels real good. But when you get here on each side, both sides, you can see it's all clumped together there. I ran into two problems. One problem is it was a little wider down here. But here it was a little narrower, so it kind of came together more. So it overlapped a bit. You can see some of the leather kind of squished together, right here. And the other part is I had to fold it over. So I had to put a cut. I had to cut the leather right here and then take this and fold it down underneath or over, either one. I think I went underneath on both sides. Yeah, I took this part and went over. And I sliced it right there and I put it over. I had to sew it in too. And when I sewed it in too, it got kind of bulky and big there. And, it doesn't look bad. When you look at the wheel from back here, it doesn't really look bad. It's just, it rubs my thumb just a little bit, the stitching does, and the leather does on each side, just a hair as I put it in there. And it's not, I wouldn't call it uncomfortable, but I've raced some longer races, like GT3 races that were almost an hour long. Then we've also done some, we did the 6 hours at the Glen, and I raced 2 hours of that straight. On my team, we had 3 of us did 6 hours at the Glen special event this year. And it did rub a little bit. I didn't necessarily get a blister or anything. It rubbed the skin a bit and was a little sore. If I would have raced if I wouldn't raced all day with this, it may have actually caused a problem. So I think we could fix that. I think it could easily be fixed with just simply cutting this off and doing it again and just doing a lessons learned from this last time I did it. And I think I could make it a lot better and not have this bulkiness. I could order probably a thinner, not thinner. I could order, when you order these sew-on covers, You tell it what size you want as far as how big the rim is around. And then they have like small, medium, large. They have like small 1, 2, 3, 4, medium 1, 2, 3, 4, large 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. Different sizes, and that gets the grip size, the circumference, the circumference of the grip. How big around is the grip? And I could probably have ordered a smaller, one size smaller circumference of the grip. What I ended up doing was measuring it at its largest spot, which is actually right up here, is this largest spot around. I measured there and bought it based on that. And then down here, the leather was kind of squishing together a bit, and it was really bad right here where it's at its smallest. It goes from its largest to its smallest point right in the same kind of area. So if I was to order again, kind of a lessons learned would be maybe order one size smaller, deal with it up here. As again, I'm cutting it right here and folding this over, so I could have got by with the smaller one. It would have been perfectly fine, and not really had a gap, and that would have made the rest of it better and not create a little bit of a ridge, especially right up here and bunched up with it. So that's just my advice for you guys who want to try this, because like this wheel is amazing. It's almost perfect. In fact, if this shipped with leather or Alcantara, I would have done other, suede, Alcantara, whatever. I think this probably would have been the perfect wheel for me. It has enough buttons. The paddles here are plastic, but the honeycomb, the shifter it's fine. I would have had the regular type of shifters that Fanatec has, the magnetic ones, but this doesn't bother me. I put the Club Sport, I got rid of the plastic quick release, put the Club Sport metal quick release on it. I just say this, the only thing that held this wheel back for me was his rubber grips. And if Fanatec, if you're listening, if you could ship a version of this wheel, charge a little bit more, ship it with leather or Alcantara or suede, it would be amazing. But in the meantime, I've heard a lot of complaints online that people had about the rubber grips, just like I do. So, and not only that, but some people have the version 1 of this wheel, and they've had this wheel for 3-4 years or whatever. This is the version 2. And they needed to replace the rubber because the rubber was wearing out, But the point is the rubber grips are the biggest complaint. And this is a solution. Getting one of the hand-stitched leather stitch-on covers for a round wheel, and then that would fit this, like the diameter of the grip, and then cutting it down and sewing it on yourself, I think is a good solution. It's worked for me. I've been using this on and off for about a year, like this. And I just want to do a video on it because I saw some more posts here recently of people, seeking out somebody to do leather grips on these things, and it's really expensive to go to a professional that would professionally mold everything to it and stuff. But if you want to save money and try to do it yourself, I had a really good result. I just wanted to share it with everybody and then give you my lessons learned about it. I might tear this off, cut this off, and try again. I think I could do better. But this one's pretty good. My first try was pretty good. Again, the things I would do again the same way is cut this first piece this big, put it underneath, then put the wrap around over top so there's no gap in the leather. There's just a little tiny seam here, but you can't feel, when you're racing, you don't feel that at all. The stitching is the only thing I feel. And I think if I just would order a slightly smaller, get the diameter down here, not the largest part, and order the diameter for the grip based off what it is, like say down here in this area, because this is the biggest part. I ordered it based on the biggest diameter area, and then it goes right to the smallest area of the rim, right down below it, and it just bunched that up and made the stitching bad on my implementation on first try. So guys, that's the video. I rambled a bit, might cut some of that out, but and the video might be a little shorter than what I recorded, but that's it for this one. I think this could be a popular solution if you guys want to try it. Took a little while to do the stitching, but I think this makes this wheel, if somebody could get the stitching, if I could do this a second time and get it just a little bit better, I think you'd have pretty much the perfect wheel for GT3 racing and open wheel racing for Fanatec. This is just an amazing wheel otherwise. The features that it offers for the price they sell it for is really cool. It's a really good deal. So guys, that's it for this video. If you haven't done so yet, we just ask you to subscribe to the channel if you like what we do. And the bell icon will get you a notification anytime we upload new videos to the channel or we go live on one of our live streams. And if you like this video in particular and you're thinking about doing one of these mods to your GT3 McLaren wheel yourself, give us a big old click on that thumbs up button down there. Lets YouTube know you like the video, helps us out in the algorithm. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in for this video. And as always, we will see you in the next one.